Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Weekend Out. My name is Gaurav. Naam to suna hoga. I'm right now at the Dubai International Airport and this is our travel special episode, which means we're going to be traveling to an exotic destination. This week our destination is Austria. We're going to be going to Seefeld and Salzburg in Austria. Our travel partners for this episode are Emirates Airlines, and what I'm going to be doing now is boarding an Emirates A380 flight from here straight to Munich. It's rightly said that travel doesn't begin at the airport, and mine began in style with a chauffeur-driven ride to the airport. And that's not it. My journey into Austria was via Munich on board the Emirates Airbus A380. And one of the first airport terminals dedicated to the Airbus A380 is at Dubai International Airport. And Concourse A is being exclusively used by Emirates Airlines. A short train ride took us to the $3.2 billion facility. For business class travelers, it gets even better at Concourse A. At the world-class Emirates Lounge, one can have a delicious meal, take a shower, or just simply catch up on business.
The very first building in the world that can house 20 A380s at a given time. And the unique proposition for the customer is that you board from the lounge. And it extends the whole length of the gates. And above us is the first class lounge, and just below us is the level that normal customers board. The great thing is, although it seats 2,552 customers, you don't feel like it's such a big facility because it's broken down into so many different areas that customers have opportunity to have a different type of food. There are different types of seating, and within the lounge itself, there are kids' play areas. There's a fine wine cellar that customers can buy fine wines, and also we have an in-house spa.
So I'm at the Emirates Business Class Lounge here at the Dubai Airport, and I've got to tell you that this is another level of luxury and pampering. Now, this is a world-class facility and everything that you can possibly imagine is available here. Now, there was a time when people would go as late as possible to the airport because airports were a hassle. But with Emirates upping the levels of service and providing this kind of luxury, people now are coming in early so that they can enjoy all these facilities available here. So for me, your holiday really doesn't begin when you land at your destination. It begins the time you book with Emirates. The way they pick you up with their limousine service, bring you to the airport, then you enjoy this world-class lounge, and then of course you're set to travel. I was now all set to board my flight, the Emirates A380 to Munich. The Emirates Business and First Class is an experience second to none. ICE Entertainment offers over 1,400 channels for your viewing pleasure. You can also stay connected with Wi-Fi and Aero Mobile. And trust me, on a long flight, there's nothing more inviting than a flatbed. I'm off to sleep. See you in Salzburg. So this is the moment we were waiting for. I am in Austria, and what you see behind me is the beautiful city of Salzburg. Now, we're going to be showing you this beautiful city, the house of Mozzart, in detail. We're going to be spending a few days here, and ye city ko aap dekhenge on the Weekend Out special coming to you from Austria. Mera naam hai Gaurav. Naam to suna hoga. Salzburg is the fourth largest city in Austria after Vienna, Graz and Linz, and also is the capital of the federal state of Salzburg. Its old town, with its world-famous Baroque architecture, is one of the best preserved city centers in the German-speaking world and was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997. The name Salzburg literally means salt fortress and derives its name from the barges carrying salt on the Salza River, which was subject to a toll in the 8th century. That's right, you're not the only one paying salik. There were tolls even in the 8th century. Salzburg is also the birthplace of the 18th century composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. In the 1960s, the city was the setting for parts of the musical The Sound of Music. अगर ये फिल्म बॉलीवुड में बनी होती तो it would be called संगीत की आवाज. लेकिन बॉलीवुड फिल्म्स में तो नाम होते हैं इंसाफ की आवाज, कानून की आवाज. Anyhow, this film remains on the list of the greatest films ever made. So in the beautiful city, we were hosted by the beautiful and luxurious Altstadt Radisson Blu. Situated in the midst of Salzburg's old town, the Altstadt Radisson Blu lies within walking distance from most of the city's best tourist attractions. With a 500-year history, the 49 rooms and 13 suites of the 5-star hotel offer tasteful furnishing and individual charm and character. Intricate enchanting details from times long past, such as the medieval wooden ceilings, stucco work, and antique paintings bring out the elegance and class into the hotel's decor.
I will welcome Mr. Gorov and team from Weekend Out from Dubai. I'm happy to see you in Salzburg in our hotel Radisson Blu Altstadt. We are directly in the city of the city center. Near of us the fortress of Salzburg. We can see from the restaurant Symphony on the Salzach River, and also you are in 1 minute on the Mozart birthplace. We also have a wonderful restaurant where we are now. This is our restaurant Symphony on the first floor of the hotel with view over the river Salzach. And you can also see from our suites on the 5th floor the fortress of Salzburg.
The city of Salzburg, and especially its historic city centre, is in fact one of the loveliest places in Europe, winning international acclaim in 1997 when it was designated a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. The Salsa River, flowing from the Prealps in the south, winds through the city as its historic lifeline and separates it into two halves, the so-called left and right banks of the Salsa. The left bank of Salsa is the older part where ancient Roman settlements once stood. The old city is picturesquely surrounded by the Monschberg, crowned by the Hohensalzburg fortress, which is visible for miles, and the mighty Capuchin Mountain on the right banks of the river. Since much of the old city is a pedestrian zone and relatively small, it's ideal for walking and window shopping. It takes about 20 minutes to walk from the southern end to the northern. This is perfect for people like me who love to eat a whole lot extra when holidaying. All the walking will help me burn some calories, and so definitely I'm going to feel a little less guilty. Salzburg has an abundance of attractive venues. If you're planning to visit Salzburg, be sure to have enough time to take in the unique atmosphere and the bustle of the city. Whether you're coming for the culture, the shopping, a stroll through the town, the cafes, or simply to spend a day in town, Old City has many charming facets. And if you're coming to this city with your better half, make sure you carry all your credit cards. Yes, one won't be enough, and lots of empty suitcases as well. I'm at the Salzburg Glockenspiel, which is at the Salzburg Museum building, and we're here to witness a very important tradition that's been going on since 1704. Now, even in those times, people needed to know when is the time to start work, when is the time for lunch, and when it's time to head back home. And this was done by the sound of bells. And we're in time for the bells to go on for lunchtime, and it's going to happen right here. The city's most famous squares include Residence Square with its splendid fountain, as well as Mozart Square with the memorial of the city's genius loci. Now this is the Mozart Platz, and that is Mozart himself. Of course, just his statue. But this is a very famous place. This is used for a lot of concerts that happen here. This is used during festivals. And of course, when in winter it's snowing heavily, this becomes an ice rink. But for right now, it's not snowing heavily. So it's only me saying hi to Mozart. The central Mozart Memorial is by Ludwig Schwanthaler. It opened in 1842 and the two sons of Mozart were present there at the opening. Mozart's widow, Constance von Nissen, had died half a year earlier in May 1842 in a house in Mozart Platz. Kash mere naam par bhi ek square hota, Gaurav Platz. See, that sounds European too. I kind of like the sound of that. It's beautiful. So while you're in Salzburg, you see Mozart everywhere. What you see behind me is the flying Mozart. How he's doing that, I have no idea. You figure that out, and then I'm going to show you the edible Mozart. I'm on my way. Okay, so it's time for the edible Mozart, and it's in the form of the original Mozart Kugel. Now, this has been the pride of Salzburg since 1890. Now, this is a chocolate that you get only in Salzburg, and a lot of it is handmade. Wow, I'm going to take a look at this. This is how it looks, and from the shape itself, you can tell that this is handmade. And now it's going to go into my mouth. This is a small piece of Mozart. It's like flavors singing in your mouth. Absolutely fantastic. This is one souvenir you want to take when you're going from Salzburg. I'm going to take a lot actually. The Mozart Kugel, also known as the Mozart Ball, originally known as Mozart Bonbon, was created by Salzburg confectioner Paul Fürst in 1890 and was named obviously after Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. The confectionery Fürst still produces the original Salzburg Mozart Kugel by hand and only sells them in its shops or over its website. Okay, this is another special and exclusive on Weekend Out in Salzburg in Austria. I'm sitting with Martin now, who's got a legacy behind him now. Martin is the great-grandson of the person who invented the original Salzburg Mozart Kugel. Martin, welcome to Weekend Out.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine, and I'm going to eat a lot of chocolate after this, but this is the chocolate that you have to have when you're in Salzburg. And Martin is going to tell us a little bit, you know, there's an industrial mass production of this as well. But what do you think separates your original Kugel?
So the original Salzburg Mozart Kugel was invented in the year of 1890 by my great-great-grandfather Paul Fürst. And it was the first one. It is a handmade product with high quality ingredients. It is not shippable in the world. There are no conserving materials inside, so it's just a local product.
While walking through another architectural delight, the Residence Platz or the Residence Square, I came across this lovely leather goods shop, Jean Markel, which specialized in traditional articles of clothing made out of deer skin. Alright, while taking a walk here, I have stumbled upon something very, very interesting and something very, very unique. It's a store called Jean Markel. Yeah, and they make hand-stitched leather, and they're very, very famous. They have some very, very famous people who come here and buy stuff for them. They've got a lot of stuff, but what's caught my fancy is this leather underwear. I Want to Be Your Underwear is the song that I can think of right now. This store has been here since 1408, and in the list of very, very famous and prominent personalities, there's also been Louis Vuitton, and this is the lady who has a bag gifted from Louis Vuitton because he bought a jacket from them and he gave her an LV bag.
Yeah.
Wow. To get to know the sound of this musical city more intimately, we needed an expert. And who better than our guide Marion Dim, who spoke 5 languages fluently and knew Salzburg like the back of his hand. He took us through a few of the historical gems dotting the old city.
This is Mozart's birthplace. Mozart lived on the 3rd floor, a flat, quite a small flat. Right. The 3rd floor, so you would, at Mozart's times, in Mozart's times, you would probably ring that bell. So try to.
So technically, I'm ringing the bell of Mozart's
You are
house.
That's it.
And we're going to go up and check if he opens the door.
That's it, yes.
Okay. The International Mozarteum Foundation first installed a museum in Mozart's birthplace on June 15, 1880. It was systematically remodeled and enlarged over the decades and has become a cultural venue that draws thousands of visitors from around the world to Salzburg each year.
The Mozarteum Foundation has been founded 133 years ago by citizens from Salzburg, and the Mozarteum Foundation is active in 3 parts, in 3 areas. It is the concerts. We have an international known festival every year, the Mozart Week. We have also a research department, and we have the 2 museums. The one is the Mozart's birth house, and the other one is the residence of Mozart on the other side of the Salzach. And yeah, Mozart's birth house is a perfect place to feel Mozart somehow and to see how he lived. You can see a lot of pictures, instruments of Mozart, and to really see how the life was in that time.
Marion took us through the original Mozart rooms at Mozart's birthplace, containing historic instruments, documents, memorabilia, and most of the portraits painted during his lifetime, including the unfinished oil painting Mozart at the Piano, painted by Mozart's brother-in-law Joseph Lange in 1789. The famous exhibits also included Mozart's childhood violin, his clavichord, the harpsichord, and portraits and letters from Mozart's family. This reminds me, as a child, while Mozart was playing musical instruments, I was playing with dolls. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. That's an embarrassing fact of my life. So Marwan also tells me that there are these passageways that connect parallel streets, and this is very, very typical to Salzburg. So we're going to enter one of these passageways, and it's got a nice courtyard area. That's what it's called?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look at that. These are supposed to be very, very beautiful. So let's check them out, yeah?
Yes.
After all that shopping and sightseeing, if you're ever looking for a bite to eat, try the numerous cafes hidden along the many alleys and passageways that are spiderwebbed into the city's geography. All this walking is making me a little tired. All the walking is a way of life in Salzburg, but I am from Dubai, so I'm going to take a small break. I'm going to sit down with Marwan and we're going to have a chat over coffee. Okay, Rana has got us our coffee and it looks absolutely stunning. He's also got us something called the Saka Tort. Now, this is supposed to be a very famous Vienna.
Vienna,
yeah?
like Austrian tart, it's Vienna, especially comes from Vienna, from the Hotel Sacher, which is this really famous hotel in Vienna. Belongs to the same hotel here in Salzburg, the same owner. Their grandfather or someone, he was the first one who created this Sacher Tort.
And he says no coffee is complete without this. So we're going to try this. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, and I hope you enjoy it.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Marion took me to a little cafe where I had the best Austrian coffee and their famous Sackertorte, which is a local take on the chocolate cake. And you know, when it comes to chocolate, I believe it's better than most things in life. In fact, I'd say, why fall in love when you can fall in chocolate? That's all we have time for in this episode. But in our next episode, we continue with our Austria sojourn. Taking you to Hangar 7, a culinary paradise, and along with its display of historical airplanes and Formula One racing cars, it's definitely a must-watch. Also, we take a scenic train ride into the small village of Seefeld. All that and more is coming up on our next episode of Weekend Out. Keep watching. So I'm here at the Salzburg. One more. So I'm here at the Salzburg Glock. One more. I'm here right now at the Salzburg Glockenspiel. One more. I'm here at the Salzburg Glock. Can we not change the name of this place? One more. I'm here right now at the Salzburg Glockenspiel.
Perfect.
And I've forgotten my spiel. This is soft snow. My feet are stinking, bro. Stinking. What is the name of the river? Salzach. What is this nonsense? I don't like this. I don't like this. It's a beautiful year. Gee, could you write better lines? Gee, I'm going to take you to the snow, shopping, sightseeing, sumptuous music, sumptuous food. It's a beautiful night. Hi, my name is Gaurav. नाम तो सुना होगा?
It's a K Company production.